Okay, we're going to start. So as I start here, I'm going to go around this little square, okay? And if you go around it, you step across and then you back up, okay? We're not going to go in a trajectory like this, not yet. Then we step this way. Hi, Ruby, you want to get up there? And then you walk up, and as you're doing this and stepping, you take little steps around. And here's the thing. When you're going around a little square like this, you keep wanting to glance down, which is understandable. Hi, Mac. Do you want to get up here? Come on, Mac. Get up here. There he goes. But what I want you to start doing is step lightly in this trajectory, but don't look down constantly. So see, I'm going to come up like this. I'm going to step wide. If I do anything, I'm going to glance with my eyes. And when I come back, I might hit this, but I don't want to keep glancing. So what happens is it becomes a habit. When you know your pathway is okay, you just are in a habit of dropping your neck out like this. So I'm trying to get you to not do that in this warm up. So welcome everybody coming on. So here I go right here. And I keep doing this little compound motion. See how I'm going to come up here? My tummy's going to go in. My shoulders are going to go down. Then I'm going to step wide and a little more. And then I'm going to back up. And if I'm prepping my head for maybe stepping on the pillow, then I won't be so shocked if in fact, let's see, I step back and I hit the edge. So I won't get all flustered if I do hit the edge, because in fact, I'm ready. And then if you do have to glance down to see where you're at, do it with just darting your eyes. Okay, so I'm trying to help you to not constantly bend your head forward and your shoulders forward. I'm trying to get you to use a technique called it's called eye darting. See how I'm stepping up and then I'm stepping over, and then I'm going to come back. And if I think, oh, did I step far enough? Instead of doing this, I'm just going to drop my chin and I'm going to dart my eyes. See, and then I'll back up a little bit more, and then I'll go to the side, tighten in my stomach, drop my shoulders. I'll come up, and then I'll come over, and then I'll back up. Okay? So now I've gone the same way for, I don't know, 6 times, maybe 8 times. I'm back at the edge. So I'm going to go the other way, maybe 3 times, 4 times, okay? This time, instead of doing this kind of a thing with the pole, I'm going to do this. See this? So now I'm doing a figure 8 kind of with my hands. And now I'm going to go the opposite direction. When I step out, then walk forward, and then step wide, and I'm digging in with my little pole. Now, in order for me to go on back, I'm thinking, oh, I need to look. But what am I going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to drop your chin, turn your body, and dart your eyes, okay? You're not going to round your shoulders, crane your neck out of the column. You're going to dart with your eyes. So here I come up here. I'm doing this figure 8. My tummy is super tight. I'm going to go just a little more. I'm going to dart with my eyes. I'm backing up until I come to the back edge. Then I'm going to come over and over. Here's the thing you should notice right now. So I've got about 2 more of these passes around the little pillow. See how I'm stepping wide? My tummy's in tight. I'm going to turn and maybe drop my chin and dart my eyes, and I keep walking back. But what you should notice is my hands are very low, okay? They're not even up in front of my face, okay? Because I've got this pole, and I'm doing a very nice rotation with my shoulder joints. And if I'm doing this rotation like this, like I'm rowing, I don't want my hands way up in front of my face, okay? Then I'm going to go forward and forward and forward. Keep your tummy tight. Step over, step a little more. Now step back, keep your shoulders down. Try not to bring your hands up around your face. Take a breath. Over, 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 over. And here we go. Up, up, up. And here I go. Over to the side, over to the side. Take a big breath. Back up. And I'm back over here behind my step. Here's my pole. I'm going to step up, bring the leg up, and then I'm going to step up with the opposite. Okay? So now I'm going to go a little bit higher. Take a big breath, and I'm going to step up, and I'm going to rotate, rotate. Back down, step up, rotate. Do that little dig in. Step up with the other one. So what I want you to do before you pull your leg up here is I want you to do what's called setting, okay? I'm going to put my foot up, but some of you may notice when you put your foot up and you bring this leg straight up, you get off balance and you have to bring the foot down really quickly, okay? So this one thing could help you with your balance more than almost anything. And it requires that you slow down a little bit, okay? So when I step, right now is when I want to set. See, I don't immediately bring this leg up. I've seen this happen so many times. Not only in my classes, people I train, out walking around, people do this. They step up, and instead of setting right here, see how I'm setting. So how do I set? My shoulders go down. My knee is very soft and even a little bent. I tighten in my tummy and I check my balance before I bring this leg up. Then I have a chance to stay on the square or to stay on that pillow. Let's say you're not using a pillow. It's the same thing. Step your foot in. Now I've changed my lead leg and I'm not putting my foot on the pillow because I know there are some of you that are not using the pillow. The same thing applies to this principle of setting. I put my foot here. I bend this because I want to lower my center of gravity. Not by rounding my back, but by hip hinging and bending my knee just a little. Then I'm going to tighten in. I'm going to bring this leg up, and I have a chance to stay on balance. So during this whole warm-up, this is the first time that I've really asked you to hold, okay? And to really lower that center of gravity and to really set. But when you do that, all of your joints, your spine included, starts to really get on target. See how I'm holding my balance and I'm bringing this leg up repeatedly? Then I'm going to put that leg down, step away, and I'm going to change. Okay? So we've gone from simple warm-up moves going around the pillow to, in fact, putting a load in a balance type of a skill. Because what we're doing is giving ourselves a chance to do what's called setting. So I'm going to set myself. Many of you will come up here and you'll start to load, and then guess what you do right here? You round. So we don't want to do that right now. So what we want to do is drop our shoulders. We want to come into the foot, lower your center of gravity, but don't round your back. Are you ready? Right here. Here we go. We're going to bring it up. I'm going to stay on with a bare foot. I'm going to touch it. I am not going to round. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to stay down with my center of gravity. I'm going to stay in that set. Okay, for balance, I'm doing that 3 little taps. Then I come down, lower my center of gravity collectively down, and step off. Okay, take a big breath. So I'm going to change one more time. And I step right in the middle. Okay, right in the middle. So I'm going to entitle this Wednesday, this Mobility Wednesday, as Learn How to Set for Balance. So this one's going to be really centered around balance, and all kind of moves to help increase our chances of staying in balance. So do you see how I'm staying right here in this move for a bit? But now I'm going to lower my center of gravity. How am I going to do that? I'm going to increase the bend here. I'm going to increase it here. Okay? I'm going to tighten in my tummy, drop my shoulders, and then I'm going to bring, I'm set now, I'm going to bring my toe off the ground. Some of you should not, and you're going to have a hard time releasing and bringing that leg forward, because I'm telling you, when you have a hip replaced or a knee replaced and you're trying to do this kind of a task, it's a little scary. So I want you to do one of two things. Promise me. You're either going to put your pole here in front of you and use it as a point of contact, or you're going to pull your kitchen chair over here so that you can put your hand lightly here, and you're going to lower your center of gravity by bending here and here, not by doing this, which is what everybody does, and then they get all off and they get shaky and all that. Okay, so we're going to practice the set. We're going to use either a pole or a kitchen chair or both lightly. That will help keep you into the set. Then you can bring this leg up and not have that panicky feeling like you're going to fall. But your center of gravity is now very lowered. See? It's lowered by not only bending the knee more, but by bending here. See that? Take a big deep breath. Bend that knee. Bend that hip. You have your hand here or both. Lightly. Don't push too hard. But this swing that we're doing right here, wow. It's going to be much harder for some of us on one side versus the other. That's why we're going to practice it for just a bit. Okay, I've got one more here. So I want to make sure my center of gravity is down. My knee is soft. My hip hinge is a little there. And if you're holding here too hard, lighten up a bit, because then that's going to put the emphasis right down through the leg and the spine where I want it. Okay, step off and step off. Okay? Now, if you held that for as long as I did, I can tell you if you have a hip replaced or a knee replaced, you're feeling it. Okay? So now I'm going to use the other one. This is the last one because we're going to hold this side a little longer. So I'm right in the middle. Let's say you don't have a pillow or a disc. Let's say that. Then just do it on the floor like this, but your foot's back here because you're going to bring it up. See? So whether you're on the floor or whether you're on your disc, you want to lightly use these hands. And you may even get away with not using your hands. So if you can bring this knee up like this, keeping your knee soft, keeping your hip hinged, breath, 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 keep your knee soft, hip hinged, breath, and do a repeated pull, loading, pull, loading, pull, loading. Take a big breath. See, I'm doing it without hands on this side because I can. If you need to use your chair or your pole and stay in good position, your back extended, so you can do this somewhere between 3 and 6 times, you know, maybe even 10 times, then that's good. But I can tell you, it is really challenging for me to do the other side because I have to use this exclusively. I have to use my chair and I have to use my pole. Okay, I'm going to hang out here for just a second. Don't put it right down. Hang out here. Hang on. Okay, try not to grip with your toes. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Just 3 more seconds. Hang on. Breath. Hang on. Now lower everything down. Come off of that. So you should have really felt that through here and here. It's an excellent thing to do. It's a little test to see how your balance is going. So I loved it when Chrissy showed us yesterday how she was able to stand with one leg. Maybe not both of them as much as we'd like, but better and better and better. So that's a very good thing. Now, here's your pole. Okay, and I know that I have a lot of people that have shoulder issues. And you really don't want to come up over your head with much weight at all. Now, some of you are getting or have gotten physical therapy for your shoulder. And if you're cleared to bring your hands up to here, then that's what I want you to do. See how I have the pole right on my head? And then what do I do with my elbows? Some of you have them in here like this. Some of you have them like this because, in fact, you broke your wrist here. See, I don't mean really break it. I mean, you pulled it out of neutral. So first things that we want to do is put our wrist in neutral, okay? So once I have my wrist in neutral, I don't want to be doing this, okay? I want to drop my shoulders, drop your shoulders, tighten in, okay? Keep your elbows down, all right? Now I'm going to shift, and I'm going to just tap that heel down and then come back. Now, let me tell you, it's going to be different for both sides. So here's where the set comes into play. I'm right here. My elbows are in line. My rib cage is up. Now I'm going to shift, and I'm going to tap that heel down. See that? Shift. Get your feet in place. Make sure you're pretty much in the middle. Shift. Keep your elbows in line with your armpit or your shoulder. See that? You're hanging on to this pole right across the top of your head. Push your butt back. Soften your knee. And just tap that heel down. And then come back. Okay, now we're going to stay on one side now just for a second. So push the hip back, rib cage up. Here we go. Heel, and then come back. So it's really hard for me to get that heel down and not lean. So I'm really working at not leaning. So hip hinge, tight tummy, heel, and back. Heel, and back. Breath, heel, and back. And heel, and back. One more. Heel and back. Woo. Okay, shift. And let's do the other side. Here we go. Drop your hip. See, this side is so much easier for me to do smoothly. I can do the other side. I just can't do it smoothly. See that? This is a much easier heel tap for me because I have the stability and the proper use of this hip. So if you're a person that has double hips replaced, this is going to be challenging. So what you have to do is use one hand at a time, put your other hand on the chair so that you can move down and up smoothly. And this includes doing a set. So when you're setting yourself, so it's not a set like counting, it's setting your core so that you can do this kind of a work. Okay, so here's our pole again. Take a big deep breath, and we're going to bring it out like this. Now, what are we going to do with this now? See? Because I told you today I'm going to say, get on the set for balance. Okay, so learn how to set so that you can balance, remember? So that's what we're going to do right now with the pole. Here's what you're going to do. Put it low if you are somebody that struggles with balance. So I'm going to pull the heel back. Then I'm going to bring it to the middle. Then I'm going to bring it and where I'm going to tap my knee on the bar. Then I'm going to bring it back. And I'm going to bring it back forward. Tap on the pillow if you need to. Then bring it forward. So your supporting knee now should be very soft, almost like bent. And then bring it down. So you're going to try to maintain this for like 1 or 2 taps, maybe 3 at the most. Okay. So now set yourself. You're going to shift, set. Okay. So when you set, you'll see me push my hip back. So this is my challenge side. So I know how hard this is. So I'm going to go down because the first thing I'm going to do is not come up. First thing I'm going to do is straighten myself up so I'm not over leaning. Uncurl my toes. Bring my heel back so that I'm bringing it as far back as I can. Then I'm going to carefully bring it forward. Tap down if I need to. Straighten up and bring it up to the pole. Tap, tap, bring it back. Then bring it to the middle. Then bring it back up. Keep your knee soft. Some of you are trying to lock your knee on me. I know it. I know what you do because I do it if I'm not calling myself on it. So come back here, put your toe down if you need to, then come to the middle. Okay, try to straighten up, rib cage up. Okay, use your whole foot, and I'm going to come up and tap, 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 and bring it down and step off. So you should have really felt that through your lower leg and your foot a lot, okay? Big breath, big breath, big breath. Down, turn out, bring this pole down, dig it in, and then bring it back and pull back. Step back to the center. You can do all this on the pillow if you want to. It's fine with me. Okay, but I'm going to step out. I'm going to bring this pole down without bending my back. Don't bend your back. Bring it down. You lean in just a little bit through the body and the knee. Then you pull back in, bring it back. Let's do that one more time. Here we go. Drop your shoulders first. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Take a breath. Okay. So I'm officially registering right this moment as a rest. So I hope Kathy's keeping track of that. Here's my pole. I'm standing like this. Now I'm going to step out. See that? And I'm going to bring this down just like I'm digging in. Okay? I'm going to bring it back, pull back, bring it back in. I'm in neutral position. I'm going to step out with the other leg out. I'm going to dig in, okay, without leaning. Keep my chin tucked. Pull that pole back and step back in. Nice. Now I'm going to do a big stretch up the back of the hamstrings. And I ended with this the other day, but I really like to do this, not holding very long, but I like to do it on a pad because we have to come down a little, 2 inches more. And I like to use it as a movement pattern and do more repeated ones rather than holding it down. Because some of you get uncomfortable when you put your head down too long. So here I am on the pad, on my little disc, and I hope those of you who picked up these pads the other day, I hope you're enjoying them. Aren't they fun? So look at your feet. You need to open your feet out nicely, okay? Now, drop my shoulders, hip hinge. Here's the trick. You need to set yourself even for this move because, again, we're on a pillow that's not super stable, okay? So you're going to be moving all around. So as you come down, your knees are bent. You're going to come down and you're going to lay that rod right down there, and you're going to straighten your legs while you keep your hands down, holding on to that pole. Now drop your head. You're only going to stay down here for about 5 or so minutes. Then you're going to bend your knees. This is the very important part. Drop into your heels. Grab your pole and come up. Then come up and come down and come down. Okay? Take a breath. Here we go. All the way down. Push back through your hip hinge. All right, tighten in the tummy, bend the knees. This is your setting part for this move. So you're setting down there. You're on all 4 corners of your feet, the back parts of your heels, the front part of your midfoot. Then you're going to straighten your legs again, and you're going to bring your body right into those knees. You're only going to stay here for a couple of seconds. Then you're going to come back down, bend the knees, push into the heels, and you're going to come back up. Okay? Take a breath. Some of you who just now did that, I don't know if Judy's on, but when you put your head down and you have the blood flow, you're not used to it. That's why I only want you to do it for just a few seconds. Okay? Now we're going to do it one more time. Okay, after you've gotten your bearings. Are you good? So here we go. Here's my pole. It's going to go from here to dropping it here. See? To dropping it here. See, my elbow is in line with my armpit or my shoulder. And then I'm going to come here. Now I'm going down again. Take a breath. Push your hips back all the way down. You're on all 4 corners of your feet. Drop your head. Now push into the heels and come up. So you're going to straighten your legs, then push down and come up. So you only do it a few seconds, right? But if you don't do it that way, we typically never, ever get that big stretch through here unless we're in the floor, okay? We could do it in the floor, and that would be fine too. So I'm going to turn my chair around here because, in fact, I'm going to use my chair. I'm going to still hang on to my pole because we're going to be doing some balance maneuvers. Now I'm going to use my chair, my little pad again, okay? So here we go. I'm going to put my foot in the middle. One foot. Take the other one to the side, okay? I'm going to grab my pole because the opposite leg is right down here. We do this move. This is called a quadruped. We can do it standing, which I'm going to do right now. And then we're going to do it kneeling today, okay? So I'm right in the middle with this foot off the edge of the pillow, okay? So I'm going to take my opposite hand and I'm going to bring it to my thigh or my quad, all right? I'm going to take the other hand, put it right here on the chair, all right? And this pole is going to be out in front of it. So I'm going to be right in the middle. I'm going to open my feet, open my toes. This is going to be in front of the hand. I'm going to lift my leg as far as I feel I can to the hip. Then I'm going to take the hand out over the back of the chair. Drop my chin, but don't drop your neck. I hope you're able to follow that. This hand, the elbow needs to be soft, okay? So soften it up, okay? Soften your knee. Here we go, up and up. And we're hanging on, and we're just going to do a little tiny bit of a drop. So it's just a few inch drop. So now your spine needs to be really working. Your core is working. Keep your knee soft. Breath. Knee soft. Breath. Knee soft. Breath. Knee soft. Breath. Hold, 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 hold. Bring that bar right in here. Bring that foot down and step off the pillow. Put the little rod back to your chair. Bend your knees. Put your elbows down onto the chair. Now put your forehead down and straighten those legs again. So here's another opportunity to really stretch through the hamstrings all the way down to your Achilles. Because while I'm in this position, my head is not too low. It doesn't make you too uncomfortable with the blood going into the head. And I just rock and roll. See how I go to one side, then to the other side, and I just pull my toes up. So that's all I want you to do is pull your toes up. You should be feeling a stretch all the way back. Pull your toe up. Pull your toe up. Shift. You want to go just enough until you start to feel it through the groin. Right there. So tight tummy. Feel it through the groin. Breath. Through the groin. Breath. Yeah, so you're straightening one leg, you're bending the other, and we're doing it not in a holding pattern. We're shifting, feeling the stretch, moving away from it. Drop your shoulders. Some of you have taken your shoulders and you put it up around your ears. Drop those shoulders. That will help this be more of a safe move. Okay? Take a big deep breath. Now, change legs. Okay, so the foot goes in the middle. This foot is off on the floor. And what am I going to do? This hand's going to be down. The elbow's going to be soft. The shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist are in the same plane. Now I'm going to take my leg back here. I'm going to take my hand out over the chair. So I hope you're able to follow, because the minute you put your hand here, you know what a lot of you are doing? You're locking this arm. So bend the elbow. You're going to go up, and you're going to go out. And you're going to go up with it for 2 inches, maybe 3 at the most. That's it. So you're going to go up, keep your elbows soft, keep your chin tucked, bring it up, breath, bring it up, breath, bring it up, keep your feet really, your foot down, and don't be gripping with your toes right now. Open your toes. Breath, keep your elbows soft, lift. So you're coming straight up with the back of the hand, the back of the elbow, and you're really working to get a 2 to 3 inch lift through the shoulder, through the hip. Breath, breath, just 2 more, just 2 more, just 2 more. Here we go. One more. Here we go. And bring it back in. And bring it back in. Yay. Put your feet here. Drop into your elbows. Bend your knees. So now you're more of a good neutral position. You're going to straighten your legs one more time. And you're going to drop your chest down just a little bit. Okay? Pull those toes up. Take a breath, take a breath, take a breath. and then come back down. Push back and come up. Okay. Now we're going to do the little one-legged standing test. We're not going to use our pillow because that's unstable, right? We're going to come back here on the floor with a bare foot. Of course, use a chair if you need to. But what I want you to do is just put your hands right out here. If that bothers you, bring them down a little bit, okay? Shift, and you're going to bring the leg up. And you're going to try to hold it up here, and you're going to start to count. And the only thing you're going to do with your hands right now is drop your shoulders, and you're going to turn palm up and then palm down. And you're going to go from just dropping your knee a little to pulling it up a little. Keep your supporting knee soft while you're turning your hands, and you're going to just stay on there. But if you get off, of course, just put your toe down, get your set back. So see, I'm staying in my set. All right, drop your shoulders, breath. Yeah, you're going to be going all over the place. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I tried to keep you on there for about 15 seconds. Probably Kathy says it was a minute, but I'm going to go with 15 seconds. Okay, shift. All right. So just remember, when you put your hands out here, that can get, if you have a shoulder issue. So you're going to shift. You're going to put your hands out, put them low if you need to. Okay. So we're going to be out there. Try not to lean too much. Okay. Hip back, knee soft, out. Now you're going to release and bring that foot up to a 90 degrees from right here at the hip. Okay. And we're going to go up with the palms, and we're going to go down with the knee just a little, and then you're going to come back up. Now I want you to keep softening your supporting knee. Okay. So this one is challenging because this is my hip replace side. Yeah, so use a chair. Don't go quite so high. Put your toe down more often. Keep dropping your shoulders. Just hang on up there. You're just going to drop it 2 or 3 inches. See how I'm turning? Drop your shoulders, rib cage up. Drop your shoulders, rib cage up. Woo! Hang on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So see, I could have started counting really fast and then I would have made it. That's just called cheating, right? Yeah, we know that. Okay. Take a big breath. Yes. Now, I'm going to take my little pole. Most of you have a pole of some sort. This won't work with a tea towel. You got to have kind of a pole. So here we go. You're wondering, what are we going to do? Remember, this one's going to be called Mobility Wednesday. Set yourself for balance, right? So I'm going to put this down, okay? And I'm going to be in the middle with one foot, and I'm going to use my chair if I need to, okay? Or a wall, or a counter, or a bed, or something that's not moving. I wouldn't grab a hold of some person because they might move, okay? So here we go. What are we going to do with this thing? Yeah, some of you are knowing. We're going to roll it, okay? So now I'm right here. I have the chair here if I need it. But I'm going to push back with my hip, go up with my rib cage, and then I'm going to just roll this out as far as I can and then come back up. See, I'm going to come to my toes. Then I'm going to roll it out to my heel and come back up. I'm going to use this if I need to because I don't want to lean too much. And then come back. Okay? See that? So it's at my toes. Take a breath, push your hip back, let it roll the whole length of your foot until it gets to your heel. You can pull it back a little bit, see? So do it 2 more times. Here we go. Roll, push your hips back, roll, 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 and then come back in. 1 more. Here we go. Get it positioned, okay? Rib cage up, drop your chin. Here we go. Hip hinge back, and then come back. 1 more. Here we go. And then come back. That's amazing. That can be that hard just to roll that thing, because we put our heel down, which was kind of a challenge, but boy, when you start rolling something, get your attention, right? So let me just tell you something. You can do this little rolling thing while you're seated, okay? You don't have to do it standing. I'm doing it standing because I'm trying to really incorporate today, especially. I do all the time, but especially I'm trying to incorporate some real functional balance positions so that you can really work on that balance that all of us want to keep. Okay, are you ready? My hip's going to go back. Now, here's the deal. This is my challenge side, because when you lose a hip, wow, that's a big stability cornerstone. Okay, so what I do is when I start to roll like this, I either lean too much, as I pointed out, or I don't really push that hip back and stay centered. I'm leaning, I'm doing funny things. So if I have this to keep me so that I'm using the correct muscles, that's the most important thing. So whether or not you hold on to something is not that important. What's important is that you use this as a medium to keep you in a good position so that you're using these weaker muscles, that you're always leaning because you don't want to use the weaker muscles, okay? So here I go. I'm dropping down. Make sure your shoulders is down. See how I'm going? I'm going to try to go all the way to the heel. I'm pushing my butt back in order to do this. And then I come back in. Take a breath. So your leg, your foot that's on your pillow, you're going to want to grip. Don't grip. Open your toes. Go way out there to the heel and then come back. I know it. It's going to be hard. There's some parallels here to life. It's going to be hard sometimes. But when you do it with the support of other people, and when you use some assistance, some help, it's amazing how much stuff you can do, right? It's amazing. Take a big breath. I'm going to do 2 more here, okay? Right here. If your hand's hurting, it's because you're using it a little too hard. So here we go. Push the butt back. Rib cage up. Push the butt back. Go all the way to your heel. And then come back in. Okay? Woo! Okay. Bring that back up. Nice. All right. We're going to turn this around. Okie dokie. Now, the reason I'm using the pillow quite a bit is because when you are on this type of a surface, okay, it's not very compliant, okay, to my foot, meaning it's spongy. So that makes me have to use more balance muscles and more balance proprioceptive reactions in your brain and all that. That's why the test for whether or not somebody, a health practitioner, is going to put you in the category called frail elderly or not, they're going to use single leg standing, and they're going to have you bring your leg up, and they're going to see how long you can stay on balance. And one of the hallmarks, I think it's about 15 seconds, is they want to see. So I don't know if they'll test both legs, but I can tell you I'm much more stable on the other side. So see, if you wanted to cheat on this and they had you to stand on one leg and they didn't do the other, well, of course, put your strong leg down. I learned how to cheat from all my students, like Katie and her mean brothers. Anyway, I think she's listening. Anyway, shift, okay? You can hold your hands out. See, just try it again. See, you'll know very quickly which side is your more unstable side. But in order to really do it, don't just grab your leg and bring it up. Set yourself. How do you do it? Drop your shoulders, drop your chin. Say rib cage up. Now the hip goes out in a hip hinge. The knee is soft, and you gently to the toe, then you bring that leg up. Okay? Keep the knee bent, and if you start to lose balance, what do you do? What do you do? You lower your center of gravity a little. Not enough to get yourself off. See how I'm fighting it? I want to hang on there. I want to keep that balance. And then when you're about to lose it, go ahead and put that foot down smoothly. Okay? So I'm giving you just a little practice here before I go to the next move. Okay, shift. All right? Do all the checks to set, right? So we're setting ourselves. Then when we release the toe, we bring it up, and you're always going to stand a chance of getting off a little bit, because if you're on this pillow, it's going to make you work really, really, really hard. That's why this has been one of the key pieces of equipment for rehab and for balance improvement. Because if you can stand steady on one of these kind of pillows, okay, and of course, if you don't have a regular one like that I use in class, okay, I mean, a normal pillow will work, and it's not as well, all right? So I'm going to hang out here, and I keep getting off on this one because this is my challenge side, but I just want to get set, and then I bring it up just a little, and if I start to lose balance, what am I supposed to do? What? You should be yelling. Lower your center of gravity, Judy. Yes. And then bring it down. Okay? Big deep breath. All right? Now I'm going to use this to do one of the first moves I did to get back into our class. And it's a typical one that we should do because it's very functional. So this is a modified runner's stretch. But I'm going to do it with my foot on the pillow or the disc. Okie dokie? So I'm going to come right in here. My hands are going to go here. I'm going to put one foot close to the chair, like that. And I'm going to come down. I'm going to slide down as far as I feel I can go. Down. Okay? Take a big breath. So I dropped even 2 more inches, not feet, 2 more inches here. And that means I have 2 more inches to come up. And this thing is perfect because it fits right underneath my chair. See that? So when I come and I'm ready to get up, I want to come as close to my front knee here as I can. Okay? Then, if I need to, I'll just bring my elbows down. I'm going to take a big breath. I'm going to push into my front heel mostly. Got it? So I'm going to push, and I'm going to bring that knee off the ground, and then I can come up, and I can go down and press back up. And I can go down and press back up. Take a breath, and come down and press back up, and come down and press back up. Now, if you can go all the way to the floor, for goodness sakes, go and do it. But some of you are going to feel more comfortable if you just go as far as you can and then come back. Okay? Go as far as you can and then come back. Go as far as you can and then come back. I'm going to go on down now. See, I'm going to go on down because I want to do that range. I want to push myself into that range that I have to organize my movement around, okay? So now I'm going to come up and I'm going to switch the legs. So I'm going to go right here and I'm going to press into my foot in the front and push on those elbows, and I'm going to come up into that position. Okay, then I'm going to put my foot down. I'm going to do a high plank, and I'm going to soften my elbows. Now I'm going to bend my elbows just a little. So I want to hold here, and now I'm going to bring the balance thing in, because I'm going to lower by bending my elbows. I'm going to bring one heel up, and then one heel up, and then one heel up, and then one heel up. So I'm doing some of the same muscles in this move as I do in a quadruped, where we hold. I'm just moving more toward the gluteal hamstring. Okay, now I'm going to switch and put my other foot forward. All right, so it's very close. It's on the pad. All right, and now I'm going to bend my knee, and I'm going to come down as far as I can and then come back up. So this move, I love to do this move at least once, if not twice in a week, with no shoes on. Why? Because it's really making me use my foot. Okay, push that knee down, go as far as you can, and then come back and try to put your heel down. Okay, so bend, try to get that knee down there, and then push back until you feel the stretch coming up through your Achilles and all the way up through your calf. Bend the knee, come down, and then come back. Okay, come down and take a breath. Okay, I'm told you I like to do the range at least a couple of times, right? And if you don't want to go down, you do not have to go down. Just do a couple more of these, and that's fine. I'm going to take my knee down. I'm going to take it down there. Take a big deep breath right there. Okay, are you ready? So to get up from this, some of us are down there and we're saying, that ain't happening. I can't get up from that position. I understand it. So what you have to do is bring your foot off of the pillow, come in closer, put your feet in here, and push yourself up like that. See that? That's how you get up, because you're down there and you're like, how in the world am I going to get up from that? I understand. So you do what I just showed you, or see, I'm going to come here and I'm going to press. I'm going to come into that position. Then I'm going to go down just because I want to do it a couple times. Okay. Breath. Here we go. Push and come up. So that is a big range for you to use. Okay. All right. Sit on that chair. So we're right here. We're going to go from in here to straight out to back in to open. See that? So I'm in an L. So I'm way out here into an L position. See that? Rib cage up. Yeah. Lean back. Bring that leg up and over. Press it down right there. Press it down right there. My dogs are very unimpressed with the whole situation here. Okay. Take a breath. Yeah. Come back up. Take a breath. We're only going to do this a couple times. And what am I doing? I'm doing one side and then the other for a very good reason. Because when you're separating and using one side then the other side, it's not as much effort, but it's making you use your brain very differently. Okay? So here I am. This is going to stay here. I'm going to bring this one up. And how do I bring it up? Do I round my back? No. I stay very extended in my back. I open. I tighten. I bring this up. I go way out here. Now this is my hip replace side. So everybody has to deal with their hips differently. And depending on you have an anterior or a posterior operation, it's different even then. So you do to your doctor's, orders as far as that, but I can go out here, okay? Then I open, I take a breath, I bring it up, and I go down. See that? And I bring it up, and I push down. Now, when you bring your knee up, do not round your back. Say rib cage up, right here. Breath. Right out there. See that? Right out there. Okay, 2 more. Here we go. Right there. Breath. Last one. And come back in. So now I'm going to turn, and I'm going to feel that wonderful stretch coming right through the groin. So my elbows are down here. My back is very extended. My legs are wide, and I'm going to turn. And I'm going to push my elbow into that knee right there on the outside. Just keep your rib cage up and really look over your shoulder there. Okay? Then come center. Drop your shoulders. Now I'm going to put this elbow right in here as I turn. And I want to feel the stretch come in through the groin. Feel the stretch come into the groin. Breath, breath, breath. All the way there. Push, 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 push. And come center. Put your hands here and push yourself up. I can't tell you how many times, whether you're in the floor, you're sitting on a chair, and I see people doing a great big spine move, which all the way forward, that's a big move. And it's even bigger because to get out of it, people typically round their back, and that's when they hurt their back. If you keep your back extended and you use some help here, and you set yourself again, see, I'm setting myself even in this position, and I come back. Now, I'm going to end this with some very important feet things. If you're barefooted, use that to really move those feet muscles, the metatarsals, and all of those muscles and bones in your feet, okay? See how they're open? And then I'm going to scrunch them up, and I'm pushing into this pad. Then I open, then I scrunch them up. It's amazing how weak our feet become because we put them in big boxes and try to walk around in these things called tennis shoes. And they have so much, they're in such a box that you can't feel your feet move. That's why I encourage you to do this once or twice a week with your feet. Okay, so there's a setting on that too. So just remember that. And then you can go heel toe. And see, many of you who have really problems with arthritis and so forth, see, when you're doing it on a pad here and you go heel toe and you put just a little pressure right here, it's not going to hurt it, but it's making you use your feet very differently. Okay, so give yourself a great big hug. And when you do this, drop your shoulders, drop your chin. Yes, turn and look, turn and look. Wow, you should feel so good now after doing this whole hour of setting toward better balance. So that's what this day is going to be. So anytime you want to do a workout, maybe we're on a vacation or something and we're not online, pull this up if you want to do this workout again. Okie dokie.